Hello, 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 TM24 here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Now, if you're just finding the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found it. I hope you find this video informative and entertaining. And if you're coming back, I appreciate you coming back. My llama here, who is actually, he's slumped right now. Maybe we'll give him some headphones, make sure he's nice and relaxed. But let's get talking about the topic of this video, and that is Iron Lad. And oh my gosh, he's kind of insane. He is kind of insane. So I was lucky enough to pick him up. Actually, I think I picked him up late last night. Played around with him a little bit, and today I really took him to ladder. Tried him out in two main decks here, and you're seeing the first one here. And I just kind of wanted to get a feel for, how he performs. Does he feel strong? How much value is he adding? And overall, man, I think he might be one of the better cards in the game right now. I don't know if maybe that's going too far since it's early for him, but he just seems like whatever he pulls, it works. In this instance, you saw he pulled a Nebula, so he's got that card effect, and that forces them to play on that lane. And him getting buffed is kind of insane, right? But let's talk about the decks that we tried him in. So the first one here is probably one of the better decks out there right now, and it's that DarkHawk Black Bolt stature deck. Really, really strong deck, and throwing Iron Lad in there, it feels, I don't know, it feels even better if it could. I mean, did one of the better decks in the meta right now just get even better? It's definitely possible. So, some of our prime targets that we would love to hit, we'd love to hit DarkHawk, we'd love to hit Rock Slide. Black Bolt's solid as well. But as you saw here, he hit Nebula, which is actually not too bad of a target. He can hit Korg, which, feels okay. It's a slightly worse Rock Slide. Better, maybe? I'm not really sure. He's got one extra power since Rock Slide recently got nerfed, but he's only throwing one rock. But, hitting Korg feels good. Hitting Nightcrawler surprisingly has brought some value as well. Being able to move him around is definitely a good thing. So, if he hits Zabu, great. If he hits Polaris, great. The only ones you don't really want him hitting, at least with this deck, is Spider-Man and Stature. And I mean, I think that's obvious. Both of those cards get discounts based on what's happening going on in the game. So if Iron Lad hits them, you're not really getting, I would say, his full value out of it. So, definitely a couple targets you don't want to hit. But, even I've put Arrow in this deck specifically just because I've been running into Galactus all over. So having Arrow as well, and potentially a second Arrow in Iron Lad, just feels really, really good. And I'm telling you, Iron Lad might be one of the new best cards in the game. I don't know. I wonder how many people have actually been able to pick him up, because, it is an expensive card to get for sure. It's costing you 6,000 tokens. He's a 4-drop, so as you can see here, he's getting hit by Zabu, which, that's pretty good. So he can come out on 3. Even at 4, he still feels strong, and you'll see that in the next deck that I tried him in. I didn't have Zabu in it, so he was still sitting at 4, 4 cost. But either way, Iron Lad he feels like a strong play pretty much every time you get him down. In this instance, let's see what we hit here. We hit Nebula again. I don't know, maybe Nebula is his favorite target, but again, it puts pressure on them, and then we're free to kind of just play elsewhere, knowing we've already got 6 power down, which, yeah, let's talk about that. He's a 4-drop that has 6 power, so, not the strongest 4-drop out there. You've got tons at 10, but because of his actual on reveal, I don't know, he feels better. He feels stronger. He feels like a really tough card that when he comes down, you're like, okay, what do we do now? Just because he does have, he's got 6 power and he's bringing some other benefit. So overall, man, I'm telling you, Iron Lad, if you're able to pick him up, he feels really, really good. And in this deck in particular, I won far more games than I lost. And, I get it. This deck was one of the better decks out there, which is why I wanted to try him in the deck we'll see here in a moment. But yeah, first impressions, Iron Lad just seems kind of nutty. He seems like a really tough card to play against. You don't know what he's bringing out. I've seen people playing him in, Mr. Negative decks. I don't know if I would go that route, but I could definitely see a case for it. Here, we're able to secure a nice, easy win just because, Mojo World is there for us. Iron Lad is putting on pressure, and we've got Polaris in this one as well. And again, I think I've had a ton of value out of, pretty much all the cards in this deck seem to provide a high level of value in one way or another. And this deck is now, it might end up being a problem. There's just too many ways to win. There's too many, too many outs for you to actually hit. So I'll walk you through this game here. You can see we've kind of got the perfect setup. We've got Nebula right into Zabu, right into either Iron Lad or DarkHawk. Typically I don't like to play my DarkHawks until, turn 5, turn 6, something like that. Picking up Zabu is great because it'll allow us to play that Iron Lad or that Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure I play the Iron Lad here just because, like I said, I don't like playing DarkHawk early, and I know that I can get Spider-Man for 1 at some point. So we are going to drop him. Let's see what he hits this time. He hits a Chord. So we're only throwing a rock in. Doesn't seem that crazy, but it does make our DarkHawk better. And you can see here, he actually helped me out moving that Nebula, allowing our Spider-Man to come in a little cheaper, and we can get our own Polaris down as well. So yeah, this deck just, it's tough. It's tough to play against right now. I think there's just too many tools, too many different ways to win. Iron Lad just takes the value to like a whole nother level. Compared to the deck that we're about to see, which is an on reveal, he does feel a bit better in this deck, even though there's a couple targets we probably would rather not hit. I just think it's because this deck has such strong synergy to begin with that being able to drop Iron Lad down and just kind of, he just kind of slots right in and just feels like a really, really nice addition to an already strong deck. So yeah, like I said, this deck just kind of seems nutty. Iron Lad kind of seems like he's really, really strong. I am excited to try him in a couple different decks as well. I've got the on reveal version. I don't know about the Mr. Negative. I don't know if that's a route that we want to actually go. I'm not sure how strong that'll actually be, but I could see why people would play it, right? There definitely seems like there's something to it. In this case here, my opponent actually he pieced out. He didn't have a way to win, and Iron Lad was part of that. So now you can see the next deck that we came to, and it is an on reveal deck, and pretty much every target in here is a pretty viable target. I will say this deck feels a little bit clunky. There's a lot of high cost cards, but you kind of wanted, I kind of wanted to make the most out of Iron Lad and the value that he brings, considering this is a video about him. So I wanted as many targets as I could have to kind of see what he could make of himself. Hitting Storm, kind of crazy. It's a 6 power Storm on 4, potentially on 3. Not in this case, but if you're running a Zabu, that just, it feels kind of crazy. We get him down here. I don't remember what we hit here. So let's see. Let's see. It's always kind of fun just waiting to see what pops out of the Iron Lad as well. In this case, it's a Jessica Jones, and again, another good target. Now he is that 410 with, no real downside. So again, Iron Lad is just kind of nuts. You can see here, I'm playing the White Tiger, hoping that it hits our flooded zone, knowing that we've got Dr. Doom ready to go the following turn. We do get a little bit lucky, but, we had a 2 out of a 3 shot of actually hitting it. So we like those odds, and then just getting our Dr. Doom down, and, we feel like we're in a just, again, look at that. He's 10 power. The value that Iron Lad is bringing is just kind of insane. If you can hit a Dr. Doom, kind of crazy. If you can hit a Black Panther, that's super strong as well. All of a sudden, that's 12 power, and that pretty much I think that outpaces every other 4-drop. So he definitely seems like he's got so many different uses, and that's without even trying him in some of these other decks. I'd love to try him in, maybe a Zabu Sarah control type deck that runs, a couple on reveals, maybe like an Ironheart, maybe a Surfer, a couple cards like that. See if we could get some value out of there. But we'll walk through these next couple games here. You can see that my hand here is very, very heavy. I'm stuck just playing, like a single Ironheart on an empty lane with only a Nebula out there. It helps that our opponent hasn't really played much, but I don't think this is going to be his best deck. I do think this deck has a lot of good targets, actually probably more good targets than the DarkHawk deck, but the DarkHawk deck is just so strong that I think that's got to be his best deck right now. You can see we're excited. Every time we get the chance to drop him, we're dropping him. Let's see what pops out of him this time. And in this instance, it's a Wong. So again, a 4/6 Wong is kind of nutty. Just absolutely crazy. We know we're drawing Wong at the next turn as well, so we figure, hey, why not? Why don't we just go all in on this and see what we can do here? So we've got double Wong lined up, ready to go. That is super scary for him. So he's going to have to try and do something to keep me away from that double Wong. You can see I've got the Dr. Doom loaded up, ready to go. His best bet would probably be just playing on Hell's Kitchen, but maybe he's afraid of, like an Odin coming down and that Ironheart just going crazy. I could see him being afraid of that, but I don't think he had a ton of good options here. Arrow was a very fine play, but because Nebula was able to get some early power down, it didn't matter. Dr. Doom comes down, we take that lane, and then we take Hell's Kitchen as well, and there we go. We move on to the next one, and I think this is the last one, and I think this game actually, I think he goes a little bit nutty in this game, so we'll walk through this one. Again, you can see not a whole lot of early game play. We've got the Mr. Sinister in there because Iron Lad hitting Mr. Sinister 2 4 6s, so 12 power for 4 is kind of nuts. So we've hit that a couple times, obviously not in this game here, but again, Iron Lad, I think there's just so much value. There's so many different things that you could try with him, and if they're continuing to add cards that affect the top of your deck, I think that he's going to have a really, really high ceiling in terms of his uses, what he could actually bring to the game. And I'm excited to see, where he winds up. I think that DarkHawk deck is going to be it for now, but I do think that at some point, that deck's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna get nerfed or something like that, but that deck seems to be pretty crazy right now. So it's kind of a wait and see to where he lines up, especially with all these newer cards coming out as well. So ton of promise from Iron Lad here. I remember this game now. I don't know what this player was thinking. We definitely got up on them, which feels great. Iron Lad ends up securing the win, if I remember correctly. I think we were going to have it either way, but he actually made a really, really nice play, and I thought I was going to lose this game. I was pretty sure I was going to lose until until it all finally played out. Little misplay there from me. I probably should have played the Nebula since I am playing the Spider-Man. It would have gave me the extra 2 power in Mojo World since they wouldn't be able to play there. But if I remember correctly, I'm not sure he actually even plays anything here. He did get Mr. Negative down, so what I was afraid of was potentially a Magic coming out and extending the game. I think that's why I ended up holding my Nebula. But, hindsight's 2020. I could have totally played her and got 2 extra power. But y'all are going to see Iron Lad hits one of the better options here. It secures me a 3rd lane, even though we were already going to win 2 of them. So, again, kind of nuts. And the power that he's going to put out on this turn is kind of crazy. So, you'll see it here. I know that I'm going to play 2 cards here now. Make sure that I have 1 extra, if they can even get anything there. And his play is actually really, really strong. I'm pretty sure would have lost to it in most situations, but just because we had a 1-drop to actually play, Iron Lad able to come out, that's going to secure us Mojo World. And, we were already up big and flooded, so it was going to be tough for them to win that lane without something crazy. which he does pull off the crazy, just not quite crazy enough. And you'll see here, Iron Lad comes out and he hits White Tiger. So think about that. So for 4, he added 13. That's just crazy. 13 power for 4 is just absolutely nuts. You can see here, he sent 2 Darkhawks flying. I thought I was going to lose this game. And then an Iron Man. He totally could have won this, but we ended up getting it. Huge win. Take all 3 lanes, but Iron Lad is insane. All right, so like I said, I think his best deck right now is going to be the Darkhawk deck, but super, super cool card. I think he's going to be super, super strong. I'm excited to see where he winds up. If y'all have hung around till the end of the video now, thank you. I really do appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button for me, as it does help. But until next time, have some fun.